good vibrations.
Hello everybody, it's Julia Hummingbird Jewel, and I'm continuing on my book review of Tufti The Priestess. So we have gotten past the plate activation, and now the next couple of chapters are really going to be speaking to our beliefs, our ability to really understand that we do have the ability to compose reality, to change our future. We don't have to just be drawn along in life. We can actually put aside hoping and waiting and thinking that, oh, things are just going to work themselves out. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a petition of prayer. I'm not saying that we should stop that. Hope is actually not a horrible word. I call hope having only positive expectations, H-O-P-E, but it's really not going to get us anywhere. So in the Tufti analogy in the movie, and what's been beat into our heads in the first few chapters, is we got to wake up and realize that we can take charge of our life. But if we sleep through the entire life, I mean like sleeping while we're awake, nothing's going to happen. And then of course, the only thing that we can really change is our future. You know, what's coming up next. We can't change our past. We can't change the present. Oop, it's already gone. So that's been kind of drilled in. But really, if you have to almost reprogram yourself to believing that this is possible. For me, I don't have to reprogram much because I've been manifesting since I've been a child. But what I didn't know really was how I was doing it. And then through my life, I've been studying metaphysics for a long time, and there's a lot of different teachers that have been teaching the same concepts: act as if, the law of assumption from Neville Goddard, and the secret law of attraction. You know, all these different teachers teaching us that we can compose reality. They don't call it composing reality, but that's what Vadim's calling it. And so he's trying to get you to realize that you've got to be habitual. You have to not just sit around in your life and wait and hope, that we can take action. And when things trigger us, then automatically that's a good time to wake up. I see myself, I see reality, activate your plate, and imagine your future frame, illuminate the frame, and bada boom, bada bing, okay? And then he's saying to practice it, but also to examine your beliefs. You know, do you need some reprogramming? Do you really feel that you have the capability of doing this? Otherwise, it's really not going to work, right? It's just going to be like you might as well be reading a fictional book. This book has real concepts about life and about having the ability to make changes. So that you're not just drawn along in this life without any power. It's just very, I feel like I'm like tight, you know? I mean, when you know that you really have the capability of making changes in your life, that's great power and freedom. And perhaps that's why we haven't been taught that. Can you imagine teaching your children these concepts from when they were, they're little children, and explaining to them that they have this power? We were not taught this. So a lot of us, read it and we think, yeah, maybe it's going to work. Well, did it work for somebody else? I want to hear stories about how it worked for somebody else so I can believe it. Well, that's really not going to work. You really have to practice it. You have to examine your belief system, see when you feel like you're just sitting around hoping that things are going to change, or are you giving up, which, we're humans, so, these things are going to happen. But really, you've got the ability to make changes. You've got the ability to change your life, to create and compose your future reality. Now, is it all going to happen in one instant? Possibly, but probably the best step is to do it in small increments. And do it with small things to begin with too, such as finding a parking spot, or changing the way you're being billed on a bill, or something that, like, you get a bill and you think, well, this bill is like $1,000, and how am I ever going to pay this bill? And then you call up and you talk to the insurance company, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, you don't owe this bill. I mean, that's kind of a way that you can work with it in everyday practical senses. And once you see that these things can happen. For example, one time I was laid off from my job, and I was pretty devastated by that. And so I filed for employment benefits. And for some reason, I was denied the employment benefits. And so immediately, my whole life just went, into darkness. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay my rent? Oh my gosh. So what did I do? But instead of just, rolling over and being sad and, all of a sudden in my mind, I'm going to go out and be homeless, I didn't believe that it was true. And then I did something which is a spiritual axiom. I went and I gave some money away to somebody, and that created a polarization. And then I got back on the phone and talked to another person in the employment office. Oh no, your claim has just gone through. So this is kind of examples in real life situations where you just don't take things laying down. You activate your, you wake up within your life. You don't just roll over. You don't just lay there. I didn't lay there and go, oh, I really hope, my unemployment will come through. And I had to take some action, right? I had to not agree with what was happening. I had to compose my situation and reality. Now, I wasn't exactly using the Tufti techniques per se, but I was in a way, because I wasn't going along with that script. I wasn't going along with the script where Julia didn't get her unemployment benefits, at that time. I decided that no, I am going to get them. I'm going to make a change. And I really, didn't script it out as carefully as how this book gives us the outlines to do, which I really like that about it. It's really telling us the steps that we can do to, look ahead and then, compose your future frame, think about it, spell it out what you want. What's it look like? What's it feel like? What's it smell like? How's it, what's the outcome of it? And then you stick that into the, when you activate your plate, and you plug in to the space of variations, and only focus on the outcome. Things are possible. We can make movement. So a lot of this is about practice, practice, practice. It's about beliefs, and it's about waking up, and wake up, people. You can do these things. You can create your future. You can compose your reality. It's a real deal. And I really want to emphasize on that, there's nothing wrong with the word power, and there's nothing wrong with wanting things and wanting betterment in our lives. Then also there's a part about, creating, knowing your wants, and I went over that quite a bit, making sure that you're clear on what you really want, because guess what? You might just get it. And not just might, but there's a big possibility. And so a lot of times when, okay, like a genie, wish granted, and then you're like, ooh, whoa, wait a minute, I didn't know it was going to be like this. So, have fun with this and really look and analyze your beliefs. Are you sitting around hoping, that's not the way you're going to get anything done? Are you just being dragged along in your life, or are you taking charge? Now, are we supposed to be doing this constantly, like, you know, every hour, creating the next hour? No, it doesn't say that. We're talking about, you know, goals and aspirations and the way that we want our life to go when things aren't quite going right. If things are going right, then, you know, have fun with it. But it's always good to have what I call God-sized dreams, right? And not just sit in the status quo because everything's, you know, going along pretty good. Well, you know, let's create some really wonderful things, you know. And I just love helping other people. So for me, like the money, you know, what's your thoughts about having money and pulling in lots of money? You know, do you think that's a bad thing, or rich people, bad people? Well, you know, I don't want a lot of money because I won't be spiritual then. You know, spiritual people don't have a lot of wealth. Wealthy people are, you know, evil. No. Wealthy people can help other people, and we can't help others when we are destitute, right? There's nothing wrong with accumulation. There's nothing wrong as long as we have a balance in our life, you know. And as far as money goes, and, you know, it's better not to say, well, I want $5,000. I mean, you can put a number on something, but what are you going to do with that $5,000 and see the outcome of that? And that's, to me, a little bit better way of pulling it in. But I have a philosophy in with my finances, and it's using the word sum, S-U-M. And so I believe that you want to spend some. You know, it's okay to buy things. It's okay to have something nice. It's okay to have good, nice clothes and shoes. And yeah, spend some. And then you want to give some. So tithing is extremely important, and it's a spiritual axiom. And so you want to give some, and then you want to save some. So, you know, if you all of a sudden get a large sum of money and you just go, woohoo, and you go out and you buy a house and you buy all this stuff and you take your friends out, and all of a sudden you have nothing left and a big hefty tax bill's coming up, and you didn't think about that. So, you know, money management is extremely important to balance it. But we're getting off topic from Tufti. I always kind of interject a little bit of my own life philosophy. Basically, this is about the illusion of action, meaning that, do you really believe that you can do this? Do you really feel that you're capable of composing your reality? And if so, then utilize the methods and give them a try, and practice waking up and walking through your dream state. It's a lot of fun. I hope you've enjoyed this and gotten something out of it. There's a lot of great teachers out there. I consider myself a toddler somewhat in reality transurfing. I'm learning a lot. I'm studying. But a great teacher said, Miss Renee, that the best way to learn is to teach. I was a little hesitant about doing these videos when Divine Guidance asked me to do YouTube videos on Tufti the Priestess. I was like, well, I don't really know enough about it, but I think I have a lot of life experience, and I can interject some of my own take on it, my own twist. Because we all have our own ways of looking at things. And even New Zealand is telling us, you know, don't worry about how the plate feels. How do you say plate or plait? Is it a braid? I see it as a tail. Somebody else sees it as a plug that plugs into a projector. I think that's brilliant. I love that one. You know, we all can do it the way we resonate, right? That you don't have, there's not something that's just stuck one certain way. You can play with it. What feels right for you? Develop your own way. It's basically conceptualizing the idea of not sleeping through our lives, of waking up, of taking charge, composing our reality, and creating a better future for the betterment of all, right? I mean, that's where we want to be. Okay, I'll signing off on this one. Hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, bye-bye.